Hey, we jump right back into it. Shit! I keep pressing start. No, 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 no. Oh, wait. Load. Little laggy again. What's always gonna be a little laggy. Yes. I wake up in a strange room. There's his room. Solid morning light shimmers against the light gray ceiling. I had forgotten to draw the curtains closed last night. This is my room, isn't it? My room. This is the third room this year that I'm supposed to call mine. Various things around here remind me that, indeed, it is me who is supposed to be the one living here. But my bag's on the floor, my new school books on the desk, my numerous medications on the night table. I stare at the bottles for a moment, deliberating, until I open a bottle, shake out a pill, and pop out a tablet from a foil sheet. I down them with a chaser of water without thinking about the chemistry. My uniforms are in the closet. I sink out from under the sheets and stretch my back before dressing up. Putting on a new school uniform feels like dressing in someone else's clothes. The artificial smell of generic detergent invades my nose, but the feeling of fresh cloth against my back is a good one, a natural one. It feels like a school uniform, as it should. It's not much different from what I used to wear before. That goes for other things, too. So far, this place seems more or less like a normal school, except for the people. I think back to my talk with Kenji yesterday, Misha's constant laughter and Shizune's sweeping sign language gestures. Well, I've only met 3 students so far. Maybe they aren't that normal, but I'm sure others are. Or perhaps people like them are what passes for normal around here? Yeah, what does pass for normal around here? What do people do? I don't see a lot of... Oh, fuck. I don't see a lot of kids hanging around after class yesterday. Didn't. So maybe there are a lot of clubs. If so, I wonder if I should join one. All through class, the question remains in my mind, so I decide to ask Shizune about it when we split into groups. After all, she did say if I had anything I wanted to know, I should ask her. Let me try to fix this a little bit. Fuck, wrong way. It's just a little bit off the... Oh, boy. That's a little better. Of course, she's not saying anything. She crosses her arms and shifts her gaze towards Misha, who looks more preoccupied with trying to grind the eraser of her pencil down so that the top is perfectly and evenly flat. Sorry, Shi-chan. Is there something you wanted from me? Oh, I see. That's a good question, Hi-chan. My first thought is that she means she doesn't know, which is worrying. Maybe I'm being too negative. Well, anyway, Misha, please don't prove me right. Oh, that's right. Everyone is encouraged to join a club. A lot of people do so because there isn't really anything else to do. There are also school events like the festival coming up in a few days. And almost every student in the school tends to help out with it, doing whatever. So, you actually transferred in at a busy time. Maybe you can help out, too. Sure. What's the festival about? Misha freezes. I don't know, Hi-chan. The truth is it's a local event, and I'm not from around this area, so... She starts signing desperately to Shizune, asking for her to bail her out. Shizune adjusts her glasses at the end of an oddly grandiose flourish and starts signing hard and heavy. Huh? Oh. Who cares? Misha puffs out her chest and shouts Shizune's words at me with a disproportionate amount of pride. Too loud. I can see heads turning to look back in our direction. Not so loud. Human beings evolve with each new generation. The ideals and beliefs behind a festival will inevitably change with time. Now, it's all about delicious fried food and amazing little games you get to play and win prizes. The teacher clears his throat very loudly, batting his long wooden pointer against his other palm like a baton. He shoots a pointed gaze at us. Finally, noticing where we are, Misha stifles a yelp and quickly quiets down. Shizune doesn't seem embarrassed at all, though brushing it off without a care. We are in the middle of class, and should start working. That's right, Shi-chan. What? That's right, Hi-chan. Are you asking because you're interested in joining a club? It could have been my eyes playing tricks on me, but I think I saw a suspicious glance exchanged between them. Misha's tone has also changed, although it does that at every other word anyway. Yeah, I was thinking about it. Misha and Shizune look at each other again. I'm going to ask what they have in mind when something dark flutters in my peripheral vision, catching my attention. Out of the corner of my eye, I see the girl with the long, dark hair get up from her desk and slip silently towards the door. Doesn't seem like she was working in a group, and no one seems to notice her but me. I glance at the teacher, who is also looking at the dark-haired girl go. Why doesn't he say anything? Hee-chan, is something wrong? Do I look as uneasy as I feel? Or was Misha just looking at me after the girl who left? No, nothing. Okay. Well, like we were asking, you don't have any plans for lunch today, do you? I thought I would go to the library and pick up some books. Not really. Oh, interesting. Like, his internal thoughts are different from his normal internal thoughts. Like, normally, when he's thinking to himself, like, when he's narrating almost. I guess, yeah, when he's narrating it, there's no quotation marks. But if there is quotation marks, but there's not a name, he's thinking it in his head as if he was saying it, but he's not literally saying it. Interesting. Do you want to have lunch together then? Sure. Yay! Okay, Hee-chan, perfect! The rest of class passes uneventfully. The girl with the long hair never came back. Fuck, something in my eye. Before I have the time to put any more thought into where she could have gone, the teacher informs us that it's time to stop working. Shizune looks more than a little annoyed that we only barely managed to finish all our work on time. I'm just glad we finished it at all. It's not a contest or anything. Yes, it is, Hee-chan. Impossible. Really? Really? I've noticed this before, but it's kind of funny how Misha is always moving her hands and signing not only everything she says, but what anyone else is saying at any given time. Obviously, it must be so Shizune can understand it. Her eyes dart back and forth between Misha's hands and me. I don't know who I'm supposed to be looking at. I'm talking to Misha, but that might be wrong. Maybe I should face Shizune. I'm not used to looking in the direction of the person whose voice I'm hearing, but really, I'm used to looking right. Shizune can't hear me, but it would be disrespectful to talk to her only through Misha. Then again, isn't that what she's doing? No, she's at least looking at me. This is all very confusing, and it will take some time to get used to. It's not a contest, because contests are competitions over a prize. If there's no prize on the line, it's not really a contest. Shizune's eyes flash dangerously with a competitive glare. She stares at me, and as if surprised that I'm challenging her. I think maybe this is a contest to her. I never noticed before how dark and blue her eyes are. It's truly an alluring gaze. Are you sure, Hee-chan? Very sure. You're wrong, Hee-chan, because I don't want to be the slowest one in the class. Therefore, what's on the line is my confidence in my abilities, and the prize is the satisfaction of proving them. I can't do her laugh very well. I don't know. Shizune pushes her glasses up the bridge of her nose in a very matter-of-fact way. Sure, she'll do that a lot. Glasses characters kind of do that. I do that as well. I'd argue more, but the bell rings, and she quickly gets up and picks up her bag, looking at me expectantly. Oh yeah, this hallway. I'd almost forgotten that weird-ass fucking picture was in the thing, that I was supposed to have lunch with them. Where do you want to eat? The cafeteria? That's so plain. Okay, let's go. Plain? Well, I guess. At my old school, I liked to eat outside near the back of the building. It was a good spot, but I didn't find it until near the end of my freshman year. I wonder if there's a similar place to eat here. Misha seems to imply as much. Right, yeah. Shizune and Misha pull me towards the cafeteria, which is surprisingly not packed. Maybe some students favor eating in classrooms or outdoors. I saw some of my classmates had boxed lunches. After we finish eating, Misha picks up where we left off earlier. So, Hee-chan, you wanted to know about clubs and stuff, right? Right, Shi-chan. Okay, I guess it makes sense to ask first. Exchanging little nods of confirmation, they turn to face me again, and Misha straightens her posture as if she is about to deliver a speech. Hee-chan, do you have anything you're really interested in? I used to play soccer, but I'm not really into it. I don't follow other teams and players or anything like that. As of late, I usually just read a lot. There's a book club, right, Shi-chan? Right? But it seems like they have all the members they can possibly have right now. Sorry, Hee-chan. It's a really popular club. Ah, okay. But more to the point, Hee-chan, does this mean that you don't have anything already in mind? Not really. Great! That's great, Hee-chan. Really great. Ha ha! Ha ha! Why is it so great? No reason. Well, Hee-chan, other than clubs and the upcoming festival, there is one other thing. Student council! I see. I didn't know the school had a student council. It was a very melodramatic setup, though, just to tell me that. I'm pretty sure the two of them know this, because Shizune looks a little embarrassed about it and Misha is laughing. Shizune quickly retakes control of the discussion in a matter of speaking. After all, it's still Misha who has to voice whatever she says. Right. Hee-chan, maybe you should join the student council. They could use more people. Yes, definitely. You should definitely join. Why? Well, for one, we could hang out every day, Hee-chan. Shi-chan and I are both in the student council. Actually, Shi-chan is the president. I'm starting to get the suspicion that Shizune and Misha might not exactly be the most unbiased people to talk about this with. As if reading my mind, Shizune quickly adjusts her glasses and signs something to Misha. Of course, we're not trying to get you to join just because we would obviously benefit from you joining the student council and therefore have an incentive to try and get you to... So, you're admitting that? No! We admit nothing! I mean, Hee-chan, of course it would be nice if you joined, and we'd appreciate it. But even without all that, joining the student council shows a healthy interest in the workings of one's school. Yep, it's true, Hee-chan. Besides, you don't want to spend time with us after school. Don't you want to spend time with us after school, Hee-chan? I can't tell if she's being genuine or if this is really just really good acting. Both of them seem to be trying hard to look their cutest, although they are already pretty cute to begin with. Well... So it's settled then. Welcome to the student council, Hee-chan. What? No! Aww, see, Shi-chan? Of course it wouldn't go so easily. Yep, that's right, though it would be boring if it went that smoothly. Oh well, Shi-chan owes me candy now. You were betting on it? Hey, my life is not a game here. Shizune seems very intrigued by this when Misha signs it to her. The aggressive glint returns to her eyes. Ah, that's interesting, Hee-chan. Let's play a game. That's not what I said. How about Rich Man, Poor Man, Hee-chan? If you lose, you have to join the student council. No, absolutely not. Oh, why not? Well, because you two both have the same incentive, and therefore the same goal, which is to get me to join the student council, right? Yep. Yeah, that isn't my goal. But what this means is that both of you can team up, and I'll be at a clear disadvantage, so I will have to decline. Hee-chan, I'm very offended. Are you saying you don't trust us and that we will pull something so disingenuous? That makes me sad. What? Why is it spelled out like that? Disingenuous? I don't know. Sorry? It's hard to tell where Shizune's influence ends and Misha's thoughts begin. I guess just Misha didn't know Shizune's word there. Alright, whatever. In order to atone for hurting a young girl's feelings, you should definitely join the student council. No! How about a game of paper football instead of Rich Man, Poor Man? Paper football? Yeah! It's a game they play in America. You make a paper triangle and then you try to shoot it past goal poles that the other player makes with their fingers. Isn't it cool? It's the ultimate form of competition between two people, Hee-chan. Oh man, fucking high school. The throwbacks, though. And it's also played by elementary and middle school children, Shi-chan. Wahaha! That means it's a game that really separates the boys from the men. More like the boys from the slightly older boys. Anyway, I'm not going to play that either. Just the fact that you know about it means you're probably surprisingly good at it. Ah, yeah, that's true. How did you know, Hee-chan? Shizune frowns at Misha, telling me that she probably wasn't supposed to admit that so readily. I wouldn't say that I'm happy with her attempts to get me into the student council, but I'm a little curious about what the student council does here. I've never been on one before, or even known anybody who was a member, so it interests me. I also kind of like Shizune and Misha, so maybe it wouldn't be so bad. Okay, Hee-chan, how about Risk? The game of world domination. I don't know what that is. It's really fun, Hee-chan. You fight for control of the world with armies and everything. Sounds like Shizune would be good at it. If you want to play, we can after school. Ah, really, Shi-chan? We can play just for fun, Hee-chan. Shi-chan hasn't played in a long time, so if you want to, there are no strings attached. Well, okay. Okay, perfect. We'll see you after school in the student council room then, Hee-chan. Wait, why there? Because that's where we keep the game. People are gonna hate me doing her laugh. I grimace. People don't like my laugh, but they're not gonna like my version of her laugh. It's just like, I am one male human boy. I'm an adult now. I'm 18. Shit. Right. Male human. Voicing. It's going to be like 5 or 6 different female humans, presumably. I don't know. Maybe they aren't human. Female cripples. Cripples are totally human. My dad's a fucking cripple. Technically, he's got one leg missing. Whatever. Where the hell was I? I grimace to tell them how much I do not like this, but it's more for show than anything. So in the end I agree, but only after getting Shizune to acknowledge that I don't mean anything concrete just by accepting to take a look around and play a game with her. Lunch ends and we go back to class. Oh, there she is! During afternoon classes. She sneaks up on you, don't she? And sneaks all the way. During afternoon classes, the long-haired girl comes back and sits down in her seat without a word. Again, no one seems to notice, or if they do, no one says anything. I want to ask Misha about it, but I don't want to be nosy. After school, Shizune and Misha quickly find me by the first floor lobby and latch onto me, covering each flank in case I might try to escape. I feel a little offended, but I'd been considering it. I don't know. Nevertheless, I'm a bit disturbed that enough people have made a break for it in the past that they're on their guard. What's with the escort? This doesn't make me feel very comfortable. In fact, it makes me feel like a dangerous prisoner being transported to his cell. Ah! What's wrong, Hee-chan? At least I don't have to actually voice Shizune. That's right. We're just going to play a game of Risk, remember? I don't know, Misha. This all seems a little sinister to me. I start thinking that when we sit down to play the game, they'll tie me down and torture me until I agree to join the student council. Well, that's highly unlikely, but still. For some reason, it seems like it would just be so plausible. Getting to the student council room is as simple as turning 2 corners from where we started. What? That's it? This makes you guys being on top of me seem a little silly. That's not true, Hee-chan. Shi-chan says that when their life is threatened, people have shown the capability to pull off superhuman bursts of speed. Life is threatened? Her expression unchanging, Misha assigns something amusedly to Shizune, who makes a baffling face and puts her head behind her back, looking pleased with herself. Misha feigns deafness and hums cheerily. Stop that. I know you heard me. You have no excuse, unlike Shizune. Shizune opens the door to the student council room. It's very plain. It's a very plain, sparsely decorated room, although it's quite large, maybe even a little larger than a classroom. There's a big table in the center surrounded by chairs, and a similar desk prominently placed in the back that I assume is Shizune's. There are a few regular desks and chairs stacked to one side as well. Extras, perhaps? Aside from the table and chairs, the room doesn't have much else to offer. Just a couple of filing cabinets and bookshelves stacked with old school records and documents. Not much else. In fact, nothing else. This is a pretty bleak room. They could at least put up a potted plant in here or something. But the most noticeable thing that this room doesn't have is other people. Are we early? No. What do you mean, no? Does it mean nobody else is coming today? Yeah, that's right. Before I manage to ask why that's the case, Shizune claps her hands together very energetically. Hee-chan, let's play Risk. Come on, you promised, didn't you? You have to. Okay. Do you want to know the rules? We can explain it to you while we set everything up. While Misha's talking, Shizune takes out what looks to be a board game from behind one of the filing cabinets and throws it on the table. Actually, this looks kind of interesting. Yeah, I've never played Risk, but I think I have or have had a board, one of the games, I don't know, whatever. After Misha spends a little too long for her liking running through the basics with somewhat vague and confusing tutorial, Shizune cuts in and declares that the game was started with a decisive motion, slicing her arm through the air. Shizune's aggressiveness is rubbing off onto me. I start feeling more competitive than I intended to when I agreed to this. Halfway into the game, while I try to ponder how to defend against Shizune's assault from the two fronts, she breaks my concentration by drumming her fingers on the table to get my attention. Shi-chan wants you to know that you are taking too long to make a move. Shi-chan also says that she will let you keep Australia if you agree to join the student council. I thought this was a game with no strings attached. Just the fact that she would dangle that over my head as an offer just means she knows knows I care about the outcome of this game. And anyway, no. No! There's an exclamation on that no. Shi-chan admires your fighting spirit, would be a benevolent dictator who will spare your people if you agree to join the student council. Ha ha ha! You're so competitive, Shizune. She seems to take this as a compliment. I would expect that the student council president be a little bit more magnanimous. Magnanimous, right. Magnanimous. Is that even a fucking thing? Magnanimous. What is that? I've heard it before, I don't know. Magnanimous? She doesn't seem to know what the word means or how it's signed, so she pulls out a piece of paper and writes it for Shizune, who in return signs it back to Misha. Misha presses her index finger against her temple as if trying to physically imprint the word into her memory. Suddenly, Shizune bursts in a flurry of gestures. Misha looks daunted by the pace of her heated signing. Ah, wait, please slow down, Shi-chan. Shi-chan says you're going to lose. Tell her I will crush your world empire with my rebellion. Ah, okay. Those eyes of hers shine with childlike mischief. She says you have no chance if you keep playing like this. No, you won't. Choices. Options! We got options, Tiger! Yelling at my cat. Let's just go crazy. She's either really mocking me or trying to trick me. I have nothing else to lose, though, so I might as well try something different. Maybe if I spread out my forces and try to control more territories, I can recoup the advantage. Shizune seems to focus on conquering whole nations, so maybe I can sacrifice my hold on continents to gain more small countries. It's worth a shot. A few turns later, I end up losing the game anyway. Shizune adjusts her glasses victoriously and allows herself to tentatively, pump a fist in the air in celebration. Great, I got the bad end. I'm gonna die in 2 pages because I chose the wrong answer. I don't know if you can die in this. I don't know, maybe. I win, yay! There's no need to translate that. It was pretty clear. Don't look so sad, Hee-chan. You were really giving it your best. That's what I thought. Sometimes your best just isn't good enough, though. If anyone knows that, it's me. You did very well for someone who just learned how to play today. Hee-chan, you attacked Iceland and North America at the same time. It's a very daring move. Shi-chan is impressed. The mark of great people is that they are daring, and that they can follow through. You're already halfway there. Isn't that great, Hee-chan? Okay, so that was a good choice then. That isn't enough, though. Just potential isn't enough. There's no point into potential if you don't take the first step, and there's no point to that if you don't keep going. I want to see more. You're right, Shi-chan, but that's so demanding. Shizune leans forward, suddenly looking a lot less playful and more like the serious person I expected her to be from the start. Hee-chan, would you like to join the student council? She really doesn't waste any time, does she? But it's only my second day of school, so I'm hesitant about committing to something so early. I haven't even taken a look at the other clubs yet. But spending my time with Shizune and Misha doesn't seem like something I would hate. I still need more time to think about it before I decide for sure. Maybe. I'll get back to you on it. Okay, Hee-chan, but I hope you're not just saying that so we don't feel bad. No, really. Really? Hee-chan, if you're going to say that, you're saying that is definitely the truth, and there can't be any mistaking it. I know. I guess I should have my revenge for losing, at the very least. Shizune smiles at me in that mischievous way. What is that face? In that mischievous way that feels like twisting the knife in the wound of my loss. I take a glance at the clock in the wall and realize I've spent far longer playing Risk than I expected. Sorry, I think I have to go. I wanted to go to the library. It's not closed yet, is it? Shizune scratches her head and gestures at Misha. How hard can it be to determine whether the library is open? There's a clock right there on the wall. It should be, unless the librarian is absent. I think you're right, Shi-chan. We think the library is open. It's on the second floor. You can't miss it. Do you want us to show you where it is? No, thanks. It's okay. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye! One flight of stairs up, and I run into problems. Second floor hallway is a carbon copy of the third floor one. Wide, of course, and plain, like only hallways can be. And it's this same picture, too. Wait, no. Same literal image, probably. Maybe not. I don't know. It just looks the same thing, it's just different painting in the back. So probably, yeah, a different picture. Probably a different place. It just happens that they found a place that looks the same. I don't know. The problem is that the library's whereabouts are not as easily determined as one would think. The classrooms are marked with signs stating which class they belong to, but then there's a plethora of other unmarked rooms. Is the library one of them, or is it just somewhere down the hallway? I bet on the latter and choose my direction at random. After I turn around a corner, an unmarked door draws my attention because it's not closed. It's not open either, though, just barely ajar so that I can see that it's open and nothing else. It makes sense for the library door to be invitingly open, and while this one is not quite that, it's good enough. At the very least, it means that someone is inside and I can ask for directions no matter how embarrassing that is. I gingerly push in the center of the door with my fingertips, every muscle in my arm ready to pull back at a moment's notice. The feeling of being an outsider to the school can't be shaken from my mind so much that I instinctively fear doing something wrong by entering. The door slowly creaks as if groaning from a deep sleep, though is much easier to open than I anticipated. Leaning over and poking my head even further in to gain sight of the room as fast as possible, the meek hello on my lips is quickly snatched away. Oh, there you go. Now we in there. This is not as I was expecting. I mindlessly let the door open to its full extent, taking in the sight of the solitary figure taking center stage in an otherwise abandoned room. The situation steals my voice, leaving me standing in the doorway staring at a beautiful girl. Evidently having taken her time to assess the situation, the girl gently puts down her teacup and opens her eyes, but doesn't look at me. Well, hello there. May I help you? Staring directly in front of herself, the movements of her lips seem to break the silence rather than the words. So she's blind. Probably. However, it's a soft, measured voice that reminds me she's being separate from the room itself. Not only is she likely the tallest girl I've ever laid eyes on, but even among the foreigners I've met, she's strikingly distinct. Hi. Sorry for intruding, I was just kind of lost. She takes a moment to formulate a response before speaking. Every action she takes feels as if it's carefully choreographed beforehand. Care to take a seat? Unexpected, considering that I'm intruding upon her. Oh, she's got some kind of theme. Thanks. I slowly step towards another seat opposite her, the girl resting the teacup on the saucer of the wooden table in between. The way she doesn't track my movements while her head is telling that, and the slight cloudiness to her eyes means she must be at least partially blind, like Kenji. Come to think of it, her voice doesn't have any detectable accent either. I guess she must be half Japanese. As I take my seat, her composure takes me slightly off guard. Her air of relaxed confidence makes the silence entirely comfortable. The calming atmosphere is so very different from the student council office. I take it you're new student to Yamaku. I take it you're a new student to Yamaku. Yeah, I just transferred in yesterday. I get the distinct feeling from my... I get the distinct feeling my speech patterns don't match the formality of hers, accentuated by a restrained bow of greeting. One which I hasten to match before realizing the futility of the action. I'm Lily Sato. Pleased to meet you. Hisao Nakai. She gives a nod before gesturing roughly in the direction of her teacup. Would you care for a drink? Sure. As much as it pains me, I can't keep step with her formality in the proceedings. She gives a kind nod, taking the request in stride. I wonder how long this video is. Probably too long. I wonder if it's still going. Still recording. I hope so. Oh, jeez. Without another word, she steps off the chair and prepares a second cup of tea from a collection of supplies laid along a shelf. A brush here, a brush there, her left hand often lightly touching the side of whichever container she's pouring into. It seems to be a process she's followed dozens of times before. As I lean sideways to see around her back, she seems to use her long, dainty finger to measure the right amount of water in the cup. It's one thing to see the different disabilities the students in my class have, but it's quite another to see how everyone seems to adapt. She and Misha have no problem working together to communicate to me, and Lily herself seems to have workarounds for problems I'd never thought of. While I feel slightly guilty about her doing the work, she seems pleased to be following the correct process of the offer or preparing the drink. So, her soft voice brings me out of my silent observance. Which room were you looking for? It's not often this classroom is visited after school. The school library. Some classmates told me it was on this floor. She finishes pouring water into the teacup as she nods, a small metallic tapping coming from the teacup indicating it being stirred. I'm aware of Miss Hakamichi, as are most students. To be with them means you're in class 3-3, no? That's right, in the science room with Muto. She gives a small giggle before settling down the teaspoon and slowly walking towards the table, teacup and saucer in hand. She's quite a character. I imagine you'll come to like him. Most do. Oh, he's quite a character. Muto. Hey, there's our main character. As she sets down the tea, I gently take it and have a sip. I'm really more of a coffee person, but this seems like a rather bad moment to bring it up. Nonetheless, this smells quite nice, and I hardly think it'd be hard to choke down. Thanks, Sato. It tastes really nice. She smiles and quickly waves her hand in front of her face. Lily, please, there's no need to be too formal. She says this in spite of her exceedingly well-bred speech. Oh well. I guess I should try to ask her about herself, as it really does seem as if she's catering to me. So, which class are you from? I imagine it's one of the third-year classes. Correct. I'm in class 3-2, which is on the third floor, same as yours. It's taught by Miyagi, and is specifically for both blind and partially blind students. I see. Sorry. I feel like slapping myself for the faux pas. Fox pass. I don't read that word often. I'm pretty sure it just means mistake. Looking at her face, though, she doesn't seem in the least bit put off by it. My, there's no need to change your speech on my account. Sure, sorry, I guess I'm really showing my newness here. An environment like this would be a big change, so I can't fault you for it. While the same can't be said for everyone, many have come to terms with their conditions. A category which would include her, it seems, all too ready to jump ship from this particular topic, I segue into another. Another word I don't read often. I literally thought that word was spelled the same way as the Segway that you would, like the weird two-wheeled thing you could stand up and ride on, but that's Segway, yeah. Do you come here to drink tea often? It's really a nice place. Thinking on it, this might be her version of the place behind my school that I like to have lunch at. I come here fairly often during lunchtimes. My duties as class representative don't leave enough time for an official club, so a friend and I use this room for having tea. Class representative, huh? Compared to Shizune, her mannerisms seem to be almost completely opposite. While Shizune is blunt and fiercely driven, Lily seems relaxed and calm, almost aloof. Come to think of it, she might be useful for a less biased view of the school's clubs. What kind of clubs are there to join? The more popular ones are the track and field club, which uses the field near the school during lunchtimes, the baseball club, and the book club in a room near the library. There are also numerous small ones, too, though, such as the art and music clubs. At a time when I'm just wanting to get on my feet, rushing into a club right away seems slightly unappealing. I wonder if this school shares the same rule as my old one. Is it compulsory to join a club? It isn't, though it is encouraged. Ah, good, that's a relief. I've really set down my guard around this girl to let such a thing slip out. The fact seems to slightly amuse her. Not wanting my tea to get cold, I finally start drinking it as Lily does the same. Wow, it's been a while, hasn't it? Just hanging out with a pretty blind chick. As I look over to the window, over her shoulder, I notice the light coming into the room has a distinctly orange tint. Let's turn that down here. Even here, time doesn't stand still. Time's gone quickly. Sorry? Right, she's blind. Of course she can't see the sun setting. It just looks like the sun's starting to set. It seems to come as a surprise for her. I guess she must have lost track of the time. Sorry, Hisao. I didn't mean to keep you from the library for so long. I quickly moved to allay her concern. I guess that's allay. I feel like I've heard that before. I'm not entirely sure. All these new fancy words. No, it's okay. Library's still open, isn't it? She pauses, takes a moment to think on it. It's probably something I should have asked Shizune when I had the chance, but Lily seems to know in any case. True, it's open until 6:30 during weekdays. A quick glance at my watch confirms that I have well enough time to get there. I might get going in that case. It's been nice talking with you, Lily. She smiles and gives a deep nod, and her hands still neatly folded on the table in front of her. It was my pleasure. Oh, come to think of it, shall I show you where the library is? I couldn't possibly ask for more help. I should be able to find it all right. Well, unless my navigational skills fail me, which they seem to have a habit of doing. It's all right. I was going to be talking to the librarian there in any case. I could introduce you. This gets better and better. It's pretty hard to deny her offer. If you're sure, then that'd be great. Thanks. As she stands up to follow me, she takes hold of the straight retractable cane that has been slipped in the handle of her bag on the floor. Compared to the cane the boy in my class had, Lily's looks much thinner and longer. His must be for support, whereas Lily's is for navigation. Together we leave the peaceful room and enter the empty hallway on the way to the library. Side by side, my pace carefully slowed to match hers, and we slowly walk through the hallway. It doesn't take long for us to arrive at the door of the warm-looking room, apparently situated in the center of the floor rather than either wing. Ladies first. She gives an appreciative smile at the gesture, taking the lead as we file in. Alright, yeah, that's gonna be an episode. This one feels kind of long. Geez, probably like 40 minutes or something. You know, you just get into these things. This is good. It's a good story. Yep.